A good week starts with a good Sunday, right? And although like a Sunday is supposed to be like a Sabbath day, chill, rest, it doesn't mean to be sluggish, right? Yeah, so today I'm just gonna go over my strategy, like literally break it down to a crisp, so literally everyone in here understands how, I hop into the markets and trade, right? Literally going to make it as simple as possible. The strategy that I trade every day is based off a very simple base model from ICT. So it's called ICT Power of 3 model. And again, stop me whenever. I know that it's a little more confusing when you're first learning about it. All right, so basically this model starts off 3 different ways within the market, okay? We have 1, accumulation, 2, manipulation, 3, distribution. So first, what do they even mean? So power of 3, it comes within there's 3 sectors of AM or power of 3, right? We have A, M, D, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So starting with accumulation A, so price is ranging. What's another word for that? We can say like consolidation within the market, or simply just accumulation, right? So price is ranging, we have consolidation in the market. This is all under A, which is accumulation. You're probably wondering yourself when you see this, like there's like price is choppy, there's nothing happening, but there is. We're forming that liquidity so we can make that move in the market, if that makes sense. Okay, so next, M, or manipulation. So we have AMD, so we have accumulation, manipulation, which is M. So manipulation means that we're manipulating the retail traders. The retail traders, when we come to manipulate that accumulation move, where it's within a liquidity sweep, okay? So we're coming lower, and retail traders are trading from break of structure, not actual, strategy. So they're going to think we're just going to continue lower or continue higher. But no, we're not, because we're going to continue lower for a little and then reverse and come higher. And that's why it's manipulation. It's manipulating those people who basically just don't know how to trade. All right, boom. So we got accumulation A, price is ranging, there's consolidation within the market. Manipulation, which is M, where we're manipulating retail traders with a liquidity sweep. They think we're coming lower, but no, it's a reversal. All right, so distribution. So we had accumulation, we're ranging, we're forming that liquidity. Manipulation, we swept that liquidity and took out a lot of the retail traders. And now distribution, we're distributing all that liquidity that were from the retail traders, and now we're giving it to the big dogs that were being patient and actually know how to trade. Hey, handing out liquidity from retail traders. All right, so now we have all the fundamental definitions of this, okay? So now let's get the technical side down. All right, so now let's show it technically. So imagine these are candlesticks, right? I'm drawing it out so it's simpler at the start. So first we have this move, which is our accumulation. Price is ranging, there's consolidation within the market, it kind of looks choppy, right? And I'm going to add that within our fundamental now, so we can match this with, actually I'll do that later, we'll match it later. And now we have manipulation leg, where we come out to take out this liquidity. Now retail traders are thinking that we're just going to consider this as a breakout and continue lower, but that's not the case, right? We're going to then have our distribution move, which is D, distribution. Accumulation, manipulation leg lower, distribution higher. Let's connect these a little bit. All right, so boom, we can see that we have an accumulation right here, boom, down here manipulation, boom, distribution. All right, see, as of right now it's pretty simple, right? I feel like a freaking second grader can understand this. Boom, AMD, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So this is the base model. This is the base model of my strategy. This is what I essentially look for every day. This is like the skeleton of it, right? All right, so now it's simple enough so far. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, this stuff is pretty simple, right? It's just understanding at first, which is the more difficult part. All right, I'm gonna keep this up here, and I'm actually sending a screenshot of this in the chat so you guys have it. Now let's go a little deeper within our base model. So I'm just gonna draw it out again. We have accumulation, manipulation, and then distribution. All right, so now we understand this, but I want to see some like price is not going to always look exactly like this, right? Sometimes we may have like a low before this that we may like come to take out. Like we're not just gonna hop into the market and it's going to look exactly like accumulation, manipulation, distribution. And I need certain things to validate these moves, right? So I need something to validate that this is manipulation and now we're just coming lower and then continue lower. I need something to validate that. And I also need to see a nice valid transition between our manipulation and distribution for us to continue higher. Alright, so with that being said, when we're looking for our manipulation level, I want to see us not only take out this liquidity level right here, which I call sell side liquidity because it's on the sell side of the market, and then buy side up here, but I want to see us take out not only sell side liquidity with our manipulation move, but a key low as well. So say we're getting into market, right? We see that our manipulation move took out our sell side liquidity and our like a key level low, like a key low right here. Swept that low. Say we came down here and swept this low. All right, this is exactly what I want to see to validate our manipulation move. Because if we just see our move come down and take out sell side liquidity, and we have this low down here, that's really not enough for me to enter in my trade, because I mean, it's simply like we have a very key level that's very close, like relatively close to where we want to be. All right, so I kind of just want to see price take out this low and have a liquidity sweep before we come into our distribution move. Okay, so that's one thing I want to see us happen before we go into that distribution move. All right, to validate manipulation, like I want to see us sweep a key level. All right, so this can be like a previous session low, a CPI data news low, right? Any significant or prominent low that we see right here, I just want to see us, sweep it. But now, like say the low was like all the way freaking down here, and we didn't sweep it yet. I can understand that, right? Because we don't want market to be overextended. If we see our manipulation level, like say we have accumulation, right? And then like our manipulation goes all the way down here, that's probably just going to be a breakout. Market is overextended, right? We don't want to like try to take a trade off of that, because we may just come up here and fake it and just continue lower. All right, and that's how you can kind of avoid, fake outs and like invalid trade, right? Okay, so now, boom, we got to validate manipulation leg. I want to see us sweep a key level. Now, how do we validate our distribution? Okay, so we have AMD once again. So we took out sell side, say we had a low here. And now, as our transition from manipulation to distribution, I want to see us form something called equal highs. All right, so what these are is kind of when you see price coming up and down, we're kind of consolidating a little bit. We're forming equal highs. All right, so I want to mark these highs out because we're looking for something called a change in state of direction. All right, so what I want to see from these equal highs, I want to see price come higher from these equal highs and do something called displaced. Displaced means, and you might hear me say it a lot, displacement means we're just simply displacing from these equal highs. We're coming higher from these equal highs. All right. But I don't want to see us just continue higher after that. I will not take the trade if we just displace and continue higher. All right, I will be completely fine on missing out on that trade. What I want to see us happen after that is have that pullback. Say we have like a fair value gap right here. Tap into it, or even like an order block, and then we just come higher. Now I want to enter here, and this is simply I just want to enter here. And now you're probably wondering, what are we targeting? All right, so I usually want to see us target the top of this accumulation zone. Why the top of the accumulation zone? Because this is resting buy side liquidity and usually our near strong liquidity, right? Or if we have like a high up here, I would want to target that high. But this is why it depends. Like market conditions really depend on what type of trade you want to take. All right, so say it's a no news Monday, very low volatility in the market, right? That doesn't entirely mean we can't take a trade at all. That just means we would be more likely to take it to our like lower hanging fruit. Okay, so that can also be like a fair value gap sitting right under this buy side liquidity, or simply just this buy side liquidity, or you can call it the top of the accumulation zone. We're going to enter coming right off of that continuation confluence, target the top of this accumulation zone, and put stops literally right under that continuation confluence, right? We want to minimize risk as much as possible, right? There are cases where we may want to sweep the low that's under this like continuation confluence, so we may have a low right under it, so just place your stop loss right under the low that's prior to the continuation confluence. Okay, time frame, great question. So it depends. So usually I'm looking for this on the 5-minute time frame, but this can work on like the 2-minute time frame, 5-minute time frame. But yeah, never mind, I just usually look for the 2-minute, 5-minute. That's a great question. A good way that I tell that relative buy side and sell side are being formed is that I take my GAN box here, right? You can copy my settings in 1 second and kind of just place it. Like if we're relatively tapping a certain price area on the buy side of the market, I'll consider that buy side liquidity, right? If I see, you know, prices relatively tapping upon a certain price on the sell side of the market, that would be sell side liquidity. All right, so here are my settings for my GAN box. Boom. I sent it also in the public VC too. All right, so boom. This is my model. All right, first I want to see price forming accumulation. This means relative buy side, relative sell side being formed. Okay, now step 2, I want to see a manipulation move. But in order for that manipulation move to be valid, I want to see price take out sell side liquidity and a key level. All right, now transition into step 3. All right, transitioning from manipulation to distribution. I want to see us form equal highs. I want to see us displace from those form equal highs, and then I want to see us pull back into a continuation confluence. What are those? Order blocks, inverse fair value gaps, any of those. All right, now from our transition from manipulation to distribution, where are we targeting? Where are we making our money? Okay, it's dependent on the market conditions. Okay, I want to see price come back to I want to see price come to the top of the accumulation zone, and then any prominent highs that were prior to that. All right, and remember to validate the manipulation leg, I want to see it sweep a key level. All right, that's for step number 2. All right, but that's literally my model. That's what I look for within the market every single day. And trust me, if you follow this strategy and are disciplined to stick with it, it will pay out. And I was blessed to be able to study this model for over 10 months. And God truly blessed me with this opportunity to share with you guys and the platform to do so. So I'm going to do that. All right. But I'm telling you guys, I would not be able to find this model or put the hours and time into studying this model without literally God by my side every single time I fall, or every single time, you know, I just feel like, you know, stuff's not working out. You know, I trusted this model because I knew something was just telling me to just keep working towards it, right? And that was God, and literally Him, like, giving me structure, right? He was giving me that power just to pull through. Okay, now quickly, we see it here. I'm going to send you guys a screenshot of this. Like, how are we right now? Am I explaining it okay? Like, any questions, concerns? I don't want to just be talking and, you know, me just mindlessly, like, talking. And people are not understanding. I want to make sure people are actually understanding, you know. So how does this feel so far? Absolutely amazing, brother. Thank you. I've been trading for a little minute. This strategy really makes a lot of sense. I just need to have more patience. Praise to Jesus. Amen, bro. I mean, genuinely, I show you guys this model and you guys can understand it, but this is only one part of being profitable, right? You need, 1, a good model, 2, good risk management, which you guys say comes within this model. 3, discipline, right? And that ties in with patience, that ties in with faith, okay? So, which is also the hardest part too, because it ties in with psychology as well. Literally how I did it, right? And you can put stops like right below, like this previous low. But that's still a pretty good trade, right? That's 5-to-1 risk to reward ratio. We're risking a good amount to win a good amount, right? And that's the whole point of what we're trying to do. Okay, so that's simple. If anyone has any questions, please let me know. Literally any questions. I put all the notes here in the call. If no one has any questions, that's literally it. I mean, that's my strategy. I hope that, you know, we all understand it now. I mean, it seems like everyone understands it. For time and day, what I try to look for, I trade macro, okay? So I want to see 1, us coming into macro. So usually this happens around start a market. We're accumulating market still. All right, come market open to like the end of that volatility period within the market, which is like 9:30 to that 9:40 area. We manipulate. We're starting to manipulate market and transition and to start making those equal highs, and then displacement from those equal highs, and have that pullback around coming into macro period. And I usually want this move to happen around macro period, which is 9:50 to 10:10. You said, so what happens if the trade doesn't go to plan, meaning it continues downward after manipulation? Do you still trade that manipulation? No. And that's thing. That's kind of goes into the discipline factor into trading. Like I said earlier, if we see that market's overextended, right, we have our manipulation move, everything's looking pretty good, and I just see us coming lower and lower, I'm not going to try to take a continuation move lower, because that's just risky and that's not my model. I'm only going to trade to my model. All right. So if market's overextended, simply just don't take a trade that day. All right. And that's the hard thing people have, troubles doing. They have trouble just not taking a trade. Right. If you don't see the model, don't take a trade. All right. That's how I do it. If I don't see my model, I'm not taking a trade. You're looking for perfection in the market. If we're being so honest, trading is literally a probability game. I hate to say it, but there is a little gambling in trading, right? But what separates you from gambling and you from actually winning consistently is you taking higher probability setups with your edge in the market, okay? And to increase that probability, you need that edge, which is your model. All right, so if you don't see your model, you are gambling. And that's how a lot of traders trade. And that's why, or a lot of unprofitable traders trade the markets. I can say all this to you guys and give you this whole strategy, and I don't mind, because one, a lot of people are not going to take action, and two, a lot of people are not going to have the discipline to actually only trade this model and nothing but it, right? And the thing is that you cannot just look at this model and then go start trading it and go make money. You have to practice this for yourself, because everyone sees the market differently, right? And that's the beautiful and unique thing about trading, is that everyone sees the market differently, right? So even though me and TJR, there's been some instances when I trade and then TJR trades and we end up taking the same trade, but then I look at his trading recap and it's just a completely different analysis within the market. And that's how trading is going to be. Not everyone's going to have the same analysis, because everyone's looking at different, factors. Everyone has a different model, and that comes with you just studying the charts for yourself. So you can't just look at someone else's model and be like, oh, that's the magic key. And that's what a lot of people try to look for. They look for a key in the market because they're lazy. They're not trying to put in the work. I put in literally 10 months of studying, even though it seems so simple. I've been I talk about it so much, so I'm able to break it down into more simplicity to teach it to other people. But I've been studying this for 10 months, trial and error, right? And yeah, I could have got a mentor, and he could have, he or she could have taught me literally how to do this simply, and that could have saved a lot more time, but I didn't. I just took the time to really focus in and study my model, and now I'm able to share with you guys, so you guys can save literally 10 months of your life, right? And try to do this yourself. But you have to go into charts yourself and practice it yourself and be able to sculpt it into your own model, your own sculpture. Literally all credit to God, and our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. He did it for us all, right? We wouldn't be here even learning about trading or having the opportunity to do this without him. So always put him first before your trading day, before your studies, literally, because that's that's the key pinnacle of it all. If you want the magic key of trading, I literally just gave it to you. It's staying right with God. Are you going to post this on YouTube? I was late on the stream. I don't know if I should. I don't know. I feel like this was so valuable. Why not? To be honest, why not? I'll keep it up on YouTube for a little. I'll post it tonight. See how y'all feel about it. Y'all can do your little, you can do notes on it and everything. I want to share this to literally everyone, because that's the thing. I can share this to everyone because not everyone's going to take action on it.